Lewis, how's it going? Hey guys, I'm Kari Conklin with Mowing Ministry.
And I'm Kari Conklin. Today we're going to start talking about a question that somebody brought up about moles and voles. So I guess the first thing is, what's the difference between a mole and a vole?
Well, I have been researching this, and moles have big claws. They're gray and don't have very good vision. They're the ones that burrow close to the top of the ground, so they make those annoying tunnels that dig up your ground. Or how would you describe
Mounds. Is it the
mounds? Yeah.
Soften up the ground.
Right, yeah. And hills. You'll usually see like hills of dirt where a mole has come up, and I guess those upper tunnels are actually the temporary tunnels. They have lower tunnels that are their permanent residence. So
they're all up in the ground.
Yeah, high and low. So voles, on the other hand, they're more like large mice. They have more of a mousy kind of face. Their tail is a little shorter than a mouse's, but they actually use the mole's tunnels as a way to get around. But one of the main differences, though, so moles eat grubs and earthworms. They are vegetarians, they're carnivores. And the voles are actually vegetarians, and they will eat your plants. So sometimes it's hard to tell, I would say, if voles are eating your plants, because a lot of pests can eat your plants. It could be deer, so it seems like unless you've trapped and actually looked at them, it's hard to tell what you've got, except if you see the mounds from the moles, you've got a mole problem. And when you've got a mole problem,
So when you have these vermin, is that the main problem, is the ground or your plants, or what's so big?
The main problem, I believe, is the mounds. It's difficult to mow around. Sometimes they can be really large. They'll knock into your mower blades, and it's just bumpy, and they can also just destroy your lawn. So a lot of times where they'll tunnel, you'll end up without grass there. You'll have trouble growing things in your lawn, growing grass. So I believe that's where people are really frustrated. But it is fun to, step on the mounds.
So I guess it comes down to, have you found any good organic ways that anybody's come up with to get rid of one or the other, or both?
Yeah, so I did a lot of research the last few weeks. What was frustrating, though, is, I don't know, I just didn't trust the articles I was reading. So, everybody has different ideas about what's the best solution, and it didn't sound like a lot of the article writers had really ever tried these things out. And reading through the comments, too, people were looking for more information, and they were just like, sure, try that. But it didn't sound like they had ever actually tried everything. So I decided to just discard a lot of what the articles had said and go straight for the comments. So that was my main method. Yeah.
So what are a couple of good ways you found?
Okay,
so successful, I guess.
It's clear that when people have mole issues, they will go to all lengths to get rid of them. So I just want to start with, I made a couple graphs. One is mole and vole organic removal solutions, and one is mole and vole non-organic solutions. So now, depending on how you... What was that?
I guess if you're more on the PETA side, you'd want the organic, generally.
Well, I would say it's less PETA, it's more chemicals, non-chemical solutions. So, at least that's the way that I categorized things. Organic to me means, chemical-free, not necessarily friendly to the moles. So, and then you'll see that in the option. So we'll start with organic because that was what the community asked for. Somebody who wanted an organic solution. So you can see there's a whole range of animal solutions: cats, dogs, snakes, roosters. that different users in these comment fields had brought up. The castor plant is poisonous, and so that's why that works for a number of people. Some people use the bean plant, some people use an oil mixture, and some people use castor scented oil. So there was some different options there. Excrements was one of the best solutions, actually, based on people that used it, said it worked.
So you put it in the hole or put it on the ground or what?
So, well, I want to actually start with the number one option. The number one option was cats. So you can see all the way on the left side, cats there were 7 comments about people who had cats that were good mousers that said they got their cat, no more mole and vole problems. So, of course, they had to be outside cats, and a number of people were upset that people were letting their cats be outside and really felt like the cats needed to stay inside, that there were dangers with having them outside. So, I mean, you have to make that decision yourself. Now, the number 2 solution was excrements, and there was a number of different things people used. One was dog poop. They would take dog poop and stick it down the mounds. It doesn't sound pleasant to me.
Especially with your bare hands.
No. So another was cat poop. And it sounded like they actually did litter. And so they would scoop the poop out of the litter and then put it down. They would dig the mound where a mole had come up and put the cat poo in the mound. So the last one was actually human urine. So that one you don't have to have a pet for, but you pretty much pee in a jar and then put it in a watering can, and they do their whole lawn. And they say it works. So there was one person that said it did not work for them. They tried it. But for the people that it worked for, they got their neighbors involved. They had the whole community putting pee on their lawn. So it was a little surprising, but it sounded effective. So I guess maybe just that scent piece, it was a big distraction for the moles, and they decided to go elsewhere. Of course, it's not going to kill them, so most likely they're going to go to your neighbor's lawn, and then your neighbor may do the same thing, and then they may just come back, and so it's really not going to be a permanent solution. But so then there were some food options, people using cayenne pepper, stuff like that. It really seemed to be it didn't work most of the time. A lot of people said just give up, sell your house. That's the only solution. So I'm going to say that didn't work. But gun was also an option. Some people would shoot them. Human hair. Got one. Somebody mentioned that.
So traps didn't work?
Well, traps was actually number 3. I just hadn't gotten down to that last section. Yeah, you can see. I mean, traps clearly has the most people. You can see the blue bar is the number of successful attempts with traps. The orange bar is number of unsuccessful. So, but because it has a lot of unsuccessful attempts as well, I felt like it wasn't really your number 1 solution. So, a number of people did say they trapped, 40 moles one year, and then the next year it was 20, and then the third year they didn't have a mole issue anymore. So it took a little longer. I guess you can't expect to just trap a few moles and then have them be gone. So some people did say they trapped hundreds of moles. Some people would rehome them, and some people did not. So leave that up to the users. So there's also nematodes, which is a natural thing to put on your lawn. A lot of people believe that killing the grubs and the earthworms because you're killing their food source, it'll get rid of the moles as well. But I also read people that did that and it wasn't successful. So I don't know where I stand on that. But there's also these battery operated or solar operated mole chasers, they're called. They emit a vibration. And I believe since the moles use vibration somewhat to find their food, it messes with their ability to find the food. So the ones that worked best were the battery operated. The solar powered were not effective, and I don't know why. But as long as the battery's working, they stay away. As soon as the battery dies, they come back. So again, not a permanent solution, and I don't know that there really is, except to, I don't know, maybe have a cat around that will keep them. So I also looked at non-organic removal solutions. So you can see the second graph shows gas options. A lot of this is putting gas down the holes and lighting it a lot of the time.
Gasoline or kerosene?
Gasoline, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. It also includes exhaust from cars or lawnmowers or, so anything really that gas could produce, exhaust, smoke, and sticking it in the holes, that's what this category covers. Juicy fruit gum. You can see from the gray line the success rate. That's actually it was the highest success rate. So for that solution, you buy a 3-pack of juicy fruit gum. You leave the gum in the foil wrappers and you cut it in half lengthwise. And then you just stick all the little pieces of gum down the mole holes. And in the morning, one of the ladies says she goes and looks and sees what's been eaten, what hasn't, and the ones that haven't, she'll take them out of that hole and put it in another hole because maybe it's a mound or a tunnel that they're not using anymore.
So they just don't like the gum, or?
Oh, so they like it and they eat it, but they can't digest the foil. So it gums up their insides and they die. So I guess they die in your yard too, but people say it works.
It's a permanent solution.
It works, right. So, and it's pretty cheap, which is nice. Mothballs came up, definitely not successful. And then poisons, you can see poisons were much more unsuccessful than they were successful. So I do not recommend pellets or anything that they sell on the market to poison moles. Just does not keep them away. So it's also really expensive.
Looks like it.
Yeah, so that was an interesting discovery. So anyway, so best options, get a cat. Next is excrement. So also you could get a cat. It's a little messy, that solution. So
or save your urine, I guess.
Or save your urine.
Spray it around.
Right. And then traps. So for some people, they're not going to want to actually see them, and that's where the juicy fruit gum might come in.
Stays underground the whole time.
I guess if you're looking for a humane solution that doesn't actually kill them, excrements or live traps would probably be the best solution. And there's lots of different traps. People have used mouse traps. There's live traps where you can rehome them, but most people, when they have mole issues, they don't mind getting rid of them permanently.
Seems like they're in a desperate or needing situation to get rid of them.
Right. So hopefully that isn't you today. If you're having issues with your moles, feel free to call us anytime, and we'll chop up some gum and stick it down the holes for you.
No urine, though. Well, thank you.
Right. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody, and hopefully you found this helpful and interesting. And we'll be back again with another topic in not too long.
Oh, sounds good. All right.